Free speech. How can we maintain a certain freedom and dignity as a man? Hi, everyone, and here I am again with a podcast, and it's really late in the night, and for some reason, I had this inspiration to share a little bit of my thoughts about this free speech that is so much around nowadays. Somehow, everywhere, you can see how the free speech is being hit, is being sort of damaged, and it feels like there is a real plan to hold on people to speak their truth or to just share their views on certain things. And and what I want to share today, it's not about a specific topic about what is free speech or not. It's really not about that, because when we talk about free speech, we can just talk about who we are as a human being. So, what is the value of free speech, and how does this even is represented in a daily life? So, for me, I've seen on a daily basis, you can walk on the streets and you can find someone and have a conversation with it, and you can see that they're not really speaking their truth. And it's a lot about concerns towards what other might think about them. And you can see in the past months, in the past years, how this idea of what other people would think about me has actually been used to attack free speech. And it is very common to see men, also women, no, actually, we're talking about both genders, that there is that fear that is so strong that actually censor themselves. So the fact that you are putting so much energy and attention to what other people might think about you, but also based on what you might say, it is the same way than censoring your own truth, because you're not speaking it out, you're holding it back, or you're even adapting what you want to say just because you fear what others would think. And I do believe it is good in society to adapt a little bit the way how you communicate, because this is also something that I'm doing. I'm not communicating the same way I'm doing here that I'm doing with my best friend or with my partner. It's a different way of communication, but I'm doing it so that my message is reaching how I want it to reach. And of course, you can try to avoid misunderstandings, so you try to be more clear in your communication, and those are all those type of skills that I think are really useful in society, because not everyone understands certain words or certain expressions the same way you're trying to emit them, for example. So how I do it, I try to do my best to be clear in my message and to send it out how you could understand it the best way as well. So I'm trying to adapt to you. And I think this is okay, this is good, this is healthy, because we are trying to take into consideration the other person, the person that receives the message. And communication is key for that. So on that side, I'm completely in to measuring communication, measuring words, and trying to be sort of neutral without, let's say, entering in judgments. No, you start, or you have a really strong opinion on something. Try to ease it a little bit. Don't come out too aggressive so that other people don't get hurt, or that the message actually passes very well and doesn't go too far, let's say. However, there is a threshold that is when we take too much the other person into consideration. So when we are having a date or we are having a meeting with someone and we are caring too much, and now I'm saying the word too much, about what is their opinion. How would they react if I say this? What would they say if I say that? Then you're actually censoring yourself. And this is not a healthy way to be. This is not a healthy way to be a man. It's not a healthy way to be a woman. It's not a healthy way to be a human. And it's all based on the fear of what would they understand and how would they react, or on how would they feel. And to be completely transparent with you, when I'm having a communication towards you, I'm not thinking about how would you feel if I say this, because sometimes I do want to challenge you. I do want to make you feel a little bit uncomfortable, and this is part of my communication. I just try to be respectful, but doesn't mean I want to please you. Because if I want to please you, I become your slave. I become the one that has to do things for you in order to not make you angry. So then your opinion counts on me so much that I become your slave. Because I will do whatever it takes to please you and to fit your standards or your way of looking at things. But then who am I? Then I'm not myself anymore. So this ability and this capacity and skills to really measure what is actually useful for the communication and what is still being and speaking my truth, and not entering in trying to please someone because I fear their opinion, or hurting them, for example. If you are in this moment where you're taking too much into consideration the others because you fear their opinion, how would you communicate a situation or a thing that you know will hurt them? Imagine a breakup. Imagine that you decide to divide something financially, or a project, anything that actually you know that will be painful for that person. If you're in that pleasing and censoring yourself, how would you manage this if you're not capable to stand for yourself and speak out your own truth because you fear what they would think? So how would you manage it then if you don't have that courage to say no to something? And free speech is connected to the exact same thing I'm sharing right now. It is connected to what the other thinks about a certain thing, of what I'm sharing, of course. So if I have to look into myself and I think about, okay, I want to inform someone that I want to break up, I want to inform someone about something that I know will hurt them, I will do it anyway because I stand for myself and I stand for my truth. I will do it in the most respectful way I can, but I still will speak my truth. And if we scale this up to another level, let's say what is happening with big medias, and we're having an opinion on whatever topic that big media is not aligned with. Big media wants you to think a certain way, wants you to behave a certain way. All those huge corporations, especially with the censorship that you have in all those platforms, well, even in the platforms where I'm speaking right now, there is a huge amount of censorship. So they are really holding back on free speech. They don't want you to have free speech because they want you to adapt their agenda, their way of seeing at things and looking at things. So how are you going to stand up then? How are you going to do it if you're not even capable to do it on your daily life? And it's the same approach, it's the same attitude, it's the same energy that you have when you stand up on your truth towards big media, corporations, and so on, or you do it with someone else, with just a random person on the streets. So you will see that if someone doesn't speak his truth on one level of society or on the higher level of society, it's the same thing. It's the same certain behavior. It's the same attitude. You're just not talking or speaking out of authenticity. If I look to myself, and I really like to take my own example, because if I'm speaking out this, I want you to feel that I'm talking out of my truth. And if I say something, I am 100% sure that I will speak out the same thing that I speak with someone on the street as I would share on this platform, or I would share on any other platform or towards any big media. You're still smart. You're not being dumb. No, this is not what I'm saying. You're still using your skills for communicating certain things, but you still stand strong on what do you believe is your real truth. And it's actually something that you feel more than what you believe. So, yeah, that's the invitation of today. For some reason, it came up, and I'm like, yeah, this is actually so important for a man to be a man, to be able to speak his truth without fearing consequences or opinions of others. And it's the same for a female, for a woman, for a male, for anyone. It doesn't matter. It's actually the same. But yeah, my podcast is mainly more about man, and masculine that cannot speak his truth cannot be seen as a real man. And I'm sorry for this if this hurts you, but this is my truth. Speak up, stand up for yourself, communicate responsibly and also respectfully, but always stand for yourself in your truth. Speak out of authenticity, and you will see how that power can even change how you perceive life. So thank you very much for listening. I really hope this gives some insights, and if it challenged someone, well, why not? It's more than welcome to be challenged sometimes. And let me know if you have any question that you might have about any of the podcast that I've shared so far, or any other topic, any question that you might have for me. Well, just make sure to reach out to me, make that question, and hopefully I can answer them. Thank you very much, and wish you all the best.